Tappy has just released Arc 7 Chapter 78, and this video will be a summary of the chapter. I highly recommend you check out my Arc 7 Chapter 77 summary. Anyways, let's begin. Emilia runs towards the south side of the city. There are a number of carriages that have arrived. Emilia is carrying Beatrice and states that soon she will be able to meet him. Beatrice was sleeping and currently conserving her mana. She was someone who needed Subaru's mana to survive. Emilia creates ice footholds and jumps to the top of the city hall, seeing that many members have already arrived. We see that Mazzelda is staring at Emilia, stating that Emilia uses her magic so freely. Mazzelda states that you can beat a magic user before they can cast magic, but Emilia says that's only if they can close the gap in time. Mazzelda says that's the reason why she has a bow, but states that Tarita is better than her. Emilia had heard of Tarita before, but had never met her. Emilia moves towards the bundle of people that have arrived from Kersblame and called out for Subaru, but she was tapped on the shoulder by Frederica. Frederica explains that Subaru has gone missing again. The scene changes and we see Medium is stunned and states that the city is destroyed, and comments about how Flop and Rem have been taken. Medium starts to stomp her feet, and Lewis also roars and shouts in unison. Otto looks at Lewis and realizes that she looks familiar, and he feels uneasy. Otto wants to ask who the young girl is, but Dicker Ottoman interrupts him and asks if the young girl with the sword is Medium, and she says that she is. Dicker looks to Abel, and Abel explains that it was due to Olbart's technique. Otto and Emilia talk about Subaru, and Lewis looks dejected. Emilia notices that Lewis is looking sad and asks if she cares for Subaru, and she makes a sound, causing Emilia to understand that Lewis is worried not only for Subaru, but for the others, including Emilia. The interaction is cut short when Abel states that he didn't believe Natsuki Subaru's companions would actually come visit. Emilia then asks if Abel is Subaru's friend, but Abel says that he doesn't have friends. Dicker Ottoman explains that Abel is the one who leads, and Dicker was only entrusted with the city. Abel commended Dicker Ottoman for fending off Madeline, but he said it harshly, and Medium and Lewis are per usual saying that Abel is a bad character whilst grabbing onto him. We see that Yorna is present, and she wonders when they're going to talk about the situation. Dicker and Yorna get acquainted, and we also see that Tarita is present. We see that Yorna will work with Abel as they have the same goal currently. However, before the others could finish their discussion, Emilia said Subaru was sent elsewhere. The Emilia camp surround Emilia as they press for information. However, Abel and Yorna says that they have no clue where Subaru is, but Emilia persists that he should be fine, which makes Abel's eyes narrow. Abel presses Emilia, asking how she can be so sure. Emilia wasn't present at the City of Kersblame, yet she's sure that Subaru survived? It seemed like Abel was trying to get information about Subaru from Otto and the others, almost as if Abel suspected that Subaru was hiding something. Emilia, however, says that Subaru works hard, and Abel is disappointed since Emilia is acting on emotions rather than logic. Emilia says that belief gives power, and Abel says that a feeling is just a feeling, it isn't a deciding factor. Abel concludes that no one can say whether Subaru is alive or dead, and that's the end of it. However, someone else does respond, Beatrice, who says that Subaru is alive. Abel and Yorna are confused, but easily understand the situation when they realize Beatrice is connected to Subaru via their souls. Of course, Yorna has a soul marriage technique and Abel is intelligent. Yorna quips that maybe Tanza will be better off if Subaru is with her then. Again, do keep in mind Yorna has the soul marriage technique, so she most likely knows that Tanza is alive. Petra interjects and asks about Medium, who has apparently been made tiny based on what Dicker Ottoman talked about. And Medium explains that she was super big, like Frederica's size. Petra then asks if Subaru has been made tiny, and Medium confirms it, and states that he heard that Yorna and Subaru beat up Olbart. However, Beatrice freezes, and Otto is confused, asking why Beatrice is acting like that. Beatrice is of course referring to Louis, who is confused. And Louis just stands there. Beatrice then asks if Otto hasn't noticed who the girl is. Then Beatrice confirms it in front of everyone that Louis Arnett is the Sin Archbishop of Gluttony. The scene changes and we see Garfiel immediately press forward into action, but Medium body blocks Louis and prevents Garfiel from getting to her. Garfiel then presses and states that Louis is evil and bad, and she's harmed many people. But of course Medium can't really do anything, but just says that Louis is a good girl, and of course Medium can't confirm or deny what Garfiel is saying. However, Medium then says Louis is a different person now, considering that she is friends with Subaru, Rem, and many others. Of course, hearing the idea that Subaru is now working with Louis causes Petra to wonder if Subaru has amnesia. However, Otto refutes it based on what other people have said. Despite that, Garfiel approaches Louis and Medium shouts for Abel. However, Abel is indifferent. However, Yorna then steps in front of Garfiel to stop him. Of course, Sin Archbishops are evil, and even the Archbishop of Greed, Regulus Corneus, destroyed the city of Garkla some time ago. However, some members present are resistant to eliminating Louis, such as Yorna and Medium. Mizelda and Torito also agree that Louis, Medium, Subaru, and the rest are friends, and therefore nothing bad should happen to them, especially Louis. However, Beatrice is agitated with the situation, and Emilia tries to calm everyone down. However, before they start fighting, they're interrupted with the arrival of Priscilla, Schultz, and Aldebaran. Yorna sees Priscilla, drops her pipe, which Louis then picks up and tries to give back to her, but Yorna is frozen, before muttering the words Priska. 3 people in the room react to this, and those people are Dicker Ottoman, Abel, and Priscilla herself. This causes Priscilla and Yorna to lock eyes, red onto blue, before Priscilla mutters, "Well, look who it is, mother." And with that, the chapter ends. So that was an interesting chapter. So it seems like these are transition chapters. So we have Emilia understanding Subaru's situation, that he's now a child, he's been sent elsewhere, but we know he's alive because of Beatrice's contract with him. And we also got a giant lore drop that Priscilla's mother seems to be Yorna, which would explain why Priscilla has a soul marriage technique, if you think of it like that. Because Yorna has a very huge soul. So maybe Priscilla also has the same thing. So this is really interesting. This then leads to the idea, is Priscilla adopted? And if she isn't, if she's truly Valachian blood, which she must be, I'm assuming, because she's related to Vincent. So wouldn't that make Yorna related to Vincent as well in some way? So maybe Priscilla's adopted, I don't know. But if she's biologically related via Yorna, that would mean that Priscilla is also a kitsune, a fox. So maybe she actually has ears and a tail. And what's really funny is, if you looked at the art for Priscilla, there's a lot of foot art with Priscilla, like when, for example, Subaru goes to Priscilla and Priscilla says to lick her feet. And with the illustrations of Yorna, you can see her feet as well. So there's a link between the two characters, especially with how they both show their shoulders when they dress with clothes. So maybe that was just like foreshadowing. But let me know what you think with Yorna being Priscilla's mother. Do you feel like it's adoption or blood related?